All right, this is recording 734. Again, you can find me at ChristinaStacia918.com. Okay, so I got a couple of recordings to make. Let me do this first one, and then I'm going to make another recording on present-day crimes she committed this week. So this one is AIW 70s. And this is going back again more to her assault of me when I was a baby. So you're going to go all the way back AIW 70s. I told you she assaulted me with a pencil when I was 2 months old. Jean Jernigan Roberts did. If you ask Jean Jernigan Roberts, she'll give you a load of bull crap and cover her ass, and all her nasties will cover her ass too and lie for her as well. But as you guys know, she fucking assaulted me. She's putting effort in my sentences. So here's more. So she also did, when she assaulted me with a pencil, she also used pin cushion. So cushion for the pushin'. She did that too. And then pin, and then you know pin goes to everything 9/11. And then the initials of pincushion are PCP. So see all Charles Manson ciphers on peace. And then she used I fall to pieces. Okay, and I bet she was using Pisces, and then she's making the pie reference, like a piece of pie, which, I'm sorry, she's trying to control my speech. And then like her using pi, P-I. Okay, so the A2, B2, C2. So she's saying, she's talking about doing the future 9/11 in there. So also, this also connects to in a head, okay, when I'm in my backyard in the 80s and I lived on Emerald. Okay, so it connects to the walkie-talkie. Remember when I told you she iced me and I fell in the pool retainer in my backyard and I was talking on a walkie-talkie and I decoded all the ciphers all around it. So this is all of those Charles Manson ciphers continued. And out of that, I figured out how early she planned to attack me, which is when I was in 5th grade at Holy Angels. And then I also figured out she did a really, really, really old earthquake in China, and she just doubled down on that last year doing another earthquake and literally linked it to the other earthquake. In China, the nation China is aware of that. And they've even said in my brain talking to people that Jean Roberts thinks she's doing her little con, acting like she's got some freaking ownership of me, which she does not. I mean, she'll tell any lie in a lie a second. Anyway, they said, unless you have a hole dug out of your leg with bone missing, you're not Christina Marie Stacia. And then everyone else has spoke up and said, unless you have a star birthmark on your knee, on your right knee, you're not Christina Marie Stacia. Quit saying you're me. So anyway, so more to the walkie-talkie. So this all falls in line, all things together. So it's going to go all the way back to this when I was 2 months old. So it would be January 1971. So then this would advance to when I was in 9th grade and going to Powell Junior High, and I lived on Emerald in Mesa, Arizona. So, okay, so walkie-talkie retainer, okay? So the initials are WTR, and it was the retainer lid that I fell through. So then you have the L for lid. So you have World Trade Center. So it goes from all the way from when I was 2 months old and then all the way to walkie-talkie. It all connects together. And she's using Patsy Cline, who sings I Fall to Pieces. She crashed her plane. She killed her. And you got to see all code on Patsy Cline. Okay, so this all connects. So then also something else she did when she crashed my leg was she referred to my leg as bone china. And then she was also making a reference to pine cone. Okay, so see all code pin and pine and pineal gland, but also that would go to 6th grade when I was doing the 5 senses, see all code on the 5 senses. So that would connect to your cone in your eyes, and then again that goes back again to me being 2 months old, and then her trafficking me and assaulting me again in 8th grade, and then trafficking me with freaking ice cream cone. So she links it all together, and then she thinks nobody will ever find out, and she'll pick apart pieces that she wants, and then she gets away with it, and then she gets to break down the government, and she gets to demand whatever the hell she wants, and la 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 la. Okay, no, that is what you're trying to do, and you're not getting away with any of it, Jean. So also in this is Coney Island, because the retainer was on the side of the swimming pool, so that would be like an island. And also a big song that was really popular. So I know this is Coney Island. Another song that was really popular that she used. She released time to release of music in the early 80s to go along with her big stunt, as you know. So all these songs are pre-planned. They're iced. The release dates are iced. It's all ice. So Islands in the Stream. So that's what she used there. So it's Coney Island. So what this could mean is, remember going back to AIW 70s when I was in grade school at East Globe, and I decoded decoding Jean Roberts, the demon ciphers she wrote around my life and planning terrorism. She planned to commit a terror attack on 30 Rock, and also the Sears Tower, also the Empire State Building, also the World Trade Center. So this could be a terror, there's something to do with Coney Island there. So, and then also 6th grade, okay, going to 6th grade again with the cones, 5 senses. My teacher's name was Mrs. Doll. And then again, the E.T. paper mache and all that. And then all the everything. You guys have all the ciphers. So it's all on my podcast. So, okay. Another thing that she did was, going back to me being 2 months old. So this is so freaking gross. I mean, it's like everything is gross, but it's like every time I find out something new, I'm like, ew. And it's just another layer of gross. Okay, so another thing she did was a bulletin board. So when you bore something, you drill something in. Okay, so she used bulletin board. So bullet and then in. She did that too. Then she used board in. Okay, then that goes to Lizzie Borden. See all decode. I decoded Lizzie Borden. Jean Roberts committed those crimes too. Jean Roberts and her Manson occult, her predecessors. So she used Borden. So you also know she has her milk and honey theme, right? She uses milk and honey and columns as themes to commit terrorism with. So Borden is also a brand of milk. So that goes to AIW 70s. Also, when I was little, and I've already got this in my podcast, where I'm in grade school, I'm like in 3rd grade. I think I'm in Mrs. Johnson's class, but I'm standing by I'm sharpening my pencil. I have a memory of sharpening my pencil and at the pencil sharpener, and something kept telling me to stick my finger in the freaking pencil sharpener. And I was like, no, if I stick my finger in the pencil sharpener, then my finger's gonna like bleed. Like I'll cut my finger. Like I was like getting visuals of like my finger being gnawed to the bone and bleeding. Okay, so that was Jean icing me, and that's like stayed with me all my life. So that goes to that memory. So the pencil sharpener, so she's using that, and then that goes to axe, to grind. So she freaking did that too, which is disgusting. She did that too. So then also that would connect to all the annex code. And then that would connect to, and then, so this is going from when I was a baby into grade school and then into later grade school. So this is showing that she pre-planned, shows she iced my mom, and mom made me my Raggedy Ann, but it shows that she pre-planned to ice my mom to make me the Raggedy Ann. My Raggedy Ann was precious. I love my Raggedy Ann. But Jean Roberts ice raped my family. She abused and assaulted and stalked all of us. So what she's using with the annex is she's saying, you got to see all code Raggedy Ann, Raggedy Andy. So Raggedy Ann and then annex and then X. So that goes to, and she just recently tried to pass the blame on that too. She tried to say it wasn't her. She's the Viking. She's Jean the Third. It's everybody else's fault. She didn't do anything. She's 6'2". She's Caucasian. She's blonde. She's innocent. She's pure. Last night she showed me a picture of herself all bloody and then screamed at me. And I'm like, bitch, you did the World Trade Center attack. Why are you yelling at me? Someone was screaming at me. Look what you did to her. And I'm like, you fucking stupid? Fucking arrest Jean. These people are fucking stupid. So anyway, so Raggedy Ann and then X. So that goes to all of the no sir, yes sir, and then her trying to make it look like my mom's second husband Sergio was writing all these demon ciphers, and he was full of angst, and my dad was full of angst. She was making it look like it was my dad, and she was trying to make it look like my dad was full of angst over my mom being with Sergio. And he's like, I'll get her. I'll get Clan, and I'll get Christina. I'll sell Christina. I'll sell my firstborn, and I will wage war against Sergio. I mean, this is how ridiculous it is. It's like a Harlequin Satan romance from hell. Jean Roberts wrote all these satanic ciphers, and she tried real hard to make it look like it was my dad, and she did that all on a part of trying to frame the Marine Corps. So anyway, and I literally asked that question in my brain. This was like when I lived in, I think it was in Dallas, because I'm like, anything's plausible. I mean, anything is plausible. I'm going to freaking ask. I'm like, did you freaking sell me? I mean, is there like some secret Marine Corps thing where you sell your children? Did you sell me to some freaking satanic witch for a piece of freaking blonde action when you retired? Did you do this? Just it is what it is. Just let me know. And he's like, no, I did not do that. So, and he's like, and he goes, I would tell you if I did that. No, I did not do that. So anyway, okay. So then that goes to 40 wax. Okay. So I decoded all of Lizzie Borden. So you know the whole Lizzie Borden. So that goes to 40 wax. So the 4D, which is H4, which is the swastika, which, everybody just uses 44 the new way. It's been, and nobody pays attention to it until where it has historical value. And it comes back up again because Jean Roberts and her Charles Manson occult need to be arrested for doing the World Trade Center attack and committing terrorism and trying to crash the United States government. But everybody uses 44 and 40 the new way. So, but anyways, but this is still that. It's the swastika. So she's putting her Charles Manson signature in it. So all the wacko, crazy AIW mad plots here. So wax, wacky, wacko. Then also more evidence on Benghazi. Benghazi is in here. She blinked my brain. I had two pieces solved, and she blinked my brain where I could only remember one piece. I'm sorry, she's messing with my mouth too while I'm talking, because they're hell-bent. They're delusional. They think they're getting away with it. They're like pissed off. They're Satanists. They're creeps. They're delusional. Freaking continue. So anyway, we're not trying to say freaking continue. Like, this is no big deal. You're talking about our lives, our families, our lands, all over the world. You little nasty motherfuckers running this frickin' hostage standoff are going to jail. You will be arrested. You're not getting away with it, Gene. So anyway, Benghazi is in here because if you look at the Ozzy at the end, and then also Ozzy, there's that. She used that Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train. So that would come out later. But the Ozzy, and then Arizona, the Ozzy, and then Crazy. So that goes together. So then you know CRGH goes together. So CHRG, so charge is there. Then also inside there is Chatsworth. And also, so you got Chatsworth Canyon. And then you also have Grand Canyon. Okay, then also in there is, I couldn't believe all of this. So also in there is, I don't even know where to begin with all this. So is Halloween, okay, and Shamrock and Derry. Okay, so the movie Halloween, remember Friday the 13th? I was born on Saturday, November 13th. Okay, but you know who the famous character is from Friday? Jason, which would be my cousin's name. And you know what Jason stands for, which I decoded that, which is June, July, August, September, October, November, December, or through November. Okay, and then so Halloween came out the same time as Friday the 13th, and there was like this little jingle that came out with the Halloween movie, and it was like, and it went Shamrock, Shamrock, Shamrock. Okay, so that's when I lived in Globe when I was little. Come to find out, Shamrock is a town that's near Gainesville, Texas. So unless it's a new name for a town or if it's already been there, but you got to see all MASH code, you got to see all sham codes. That's really old Charles Manson ciphers. This is all really old Charles Manson ciphers that I'm decoding of Jean Roberts that she wrote around me and my family. So then the Shamrock Dairy, there's a Shamrock Dairy. So the Shamrock Dairy, we used to go to the Shamrock Dairy when I was in 8th grade to go get milk. And I'd be like all like creeped out because all I can think of is like Halloween. But I'm like, let me go look up Shamrock Dairy. So Shamrock Farms is owned by the McClellan family, who founded the business in, guess when, 1922 in Tucson, Arizona. And it remains the largest family-owned dairy in the Southwest, part of the larger privately held Shamrock Foods Company, the company led by Kent McClelland. And you know, she loves that name. As CEO, produces and distributes a wide range of dairy products, sourcing much of its milk from its own large-scale dairy farms. So anyways, I'm like, okay, so she's controlling the CEO of Shamrock, which probably has nothing to do, but is probably well aware of all this that is going on. But Jean Roberts, I'm just grossed out. So anyway, okay, so the Shamrock. So when I think of the Shamrock, I'm like down here and I'm like the key details. It says the founders. You know, remember I told you Jean Roberts uses a white power theme. She uses Winnie the Pooh. It stands for white power, and I decoded all of it. She's obsessed with Winnie the Pooh. Okay, so in this, the founders, W.T. and Winifred McClellan. No, I'm not saying that they're white power. I'm saying this is how Jean used them. So W.T. and then Winnie the Pooh, and then W.T. But see, when I see W.T., what do I see in my brain also? She knows what I'm going to see instantly. What do I see? Instantly, I think of W.C. Fields. So I go and look up W.C. Fields, and then someone told me in my brain, she's wanting you to think of W.C. Fields because W.C. Fields looks like Alfred Hitchcock. So you've already decoded Alfred Hitchcock. So you're wanting to go see, so I go look, I'm like, let me go see W.C. Fields and Alfred Hitchcock. So they look alike, okay? So W.C. Fields and Alfred Hitchcock go together. So then I go and look up W.C. Fields movies. One of them is notable. It is called Let me see, where is it at? Where did I put it at? Did she delete it off my phone? She keeps trying to steal from me. It's called the... Oh, here it is. Nope, it's still on my phone. I'll have to watch it because she acts shit on me. She's cursing my speech. So please stop, all of you. You're going to jail. It's not a joke. So get this. So W.C. Fields comes out with a movie called The Bank Dick in 1940. So with Dick, you also have Tick and you also have Hick. So all that goes together. So she's using W.C. Fields. She also connects in Sally Field from back then. And then she's also connecting in Fields Cookies. And then with Rock, she's making a reference to my mom's friend Rick. And I fed a baby calf on his farm. So you guys know the picture on Charles Manson and all that. See my previous podcast. So all that goes together. So Alfred P. Murrah is in that. So it's leaking to Gene Roberts getting ready or planning to do the Alfred P. Murrah attack. So also in this, The Bank Dick, is Bush and Cheney in the future. So they're using Bank for Bush and they're using Dick for Cheney. And then also the Bank Dick is also Benedict Canyon. And then also 419 is also the Oklahoma City bombing. And this also goes to Gene Roberts stalking two of my dad's best friends, Richard and Gene Gene, not Jean. Jean is his ex-girlfriend, the one I'm turning in. Jean is stalking Gene. Okay, so the Bomies, and then if you look at the Bomies, you've got the AU, you've got the gold, and look, it looks like their name says My Mavis Gold. It's what it looks like. So anyway, when I decoded her stalking the Bomies and I decoded her stalking the cartel at the same time, and I'm like, what do these guys have to do with each other? But everything is intertwined, and she goes in between them. But anyway, they use Gene uses a reference between them called Moby Dick, and she has all ciphers written around. Some may call me Ishmael. Then also, you can tell the Statler Brothers, which also came out in the 70s. That song, All the Gold in California. And then what's their name? Stat. And then what's my last name? Stacia. So, and then Stat Emergency, which is, an emergency was another show that came out. And the Towering Inferno was another show that came out. So, the Stat, so that goes up here to the Tick or whatever. So also in that, it's also about Egbert Souse, and you know what a souse is. Souse. And she's probably also using that for her other evil, which pisses me off. But there's a Russell Hicks in it. One thing that made me laugh. And then here, this is scary. Persuades Teller, Teller. Ogilby, Ogogglby, Og Magog. And then the guy's name, the actor's name is Grady Sutton. To lend him bank money to be returned when the scheme pays off. Unfortunately, the bank inspector, this I got a kick out of, the bank inspector's name was Snoopington, which was Franklin Pangborn, and then makes a surprise appearance, which this is adorable. That's why she always tries so hard to be Snoop Dogg. She's like, leave people alone, Gene. You committed these crimes. She's like, but I sewed and weaved this in for you. Now let me continue to continue to control you. Let me just control everyone. No, Gene, you need to go to jail. She wants people to think it's their idea and they did this. They did not do this. So anyway, but what they do is they keep the good and they turn in Gene. So, like, I can use this. I'm going to keep this and no Gene because this is all our lives. for the last 60 years. And then before that, it's all our lives. You keep the best and then you turn gene in. So anyway, that goes to this. And then there's more here. I'm going to put that in the next recording though. So that's the end of this recording.